There's something timeless about great design. I've always been drawn to the clean, sharp, and futuristic aesthetic, which is a perfect blend of form and function that sparks curiosity and admiration. An aesthetic that feels timeless yet forward-thinking. The bold angles and minimalistic aesthetic, it speaks to a vision of modernity, a design that feels very purposeful, balanced, and harmonious. Meet the Trimui Brick, a handheld device that takes the same approach with a design that's so simple, so compact, and undeniably unique, but does its beauty extend to how it performs? In today's video, we're going to explore what this new device has to offer, and as emulation as a whole grows alongside the technology that powers it, as systems become faster, more powerful, the options are now overwhelming, yet the question still arises, if I could only choose one to re-experience retro, which one would it be? From first glance, it's hard not to see a mere emulation of the Analog Pocket, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing because in my opinion, the Analog Pocket is one of the best looking systems out there, and having a device that's less than half the price and can almost do everything the Pocket can do in a smaller form factor is a marvel in its own right. However, that's where my first issue with this device arises, the price point. When comparing the Brick to, say, the Miyoo Mini, apart from the aesthetic bonus you're getting, you're going to be paying a premium for that extra power that isn't really made use of. Given the fact that those systems you may want to emulate that require that extra power, it also requires a joystick or two for an ideal gaming control setup. Without it, that extra power to play games on, say, the Nintendo DS, PSP, and even Dreamcast might mean your money might be better spent on a system offering a superior form factor. And don't get me wrong, you can still play a lot of these games on the PSP and PS1 just fine. I'm just saying it's not necessarily ideal, and it's something that you should consider when deciding to make a purchase. That issue aside, it's hard not to appreciate the attention to detail Trimui placed when creating the Brick. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a device that could fit right at home with my EDC loadout with zero abashment. I mean, after all, with its minimalistic aesthetic, it looks like Apple themselves created this handheld. With its LEDs on the system, it's definitely likely to turn some heads in public. This device is without a doubt eye-catching. Now, the entire system feels very well built. The buttons are superior to that of the Miyoo Mini. The D-pad feels perfectly balanced, intuitive, and the face buttons feel very precise. The face buttons on the Miyoo Mini, there's this greater distance between pressing and activation. However, with the Trimui Brick, these buttons feel quicker and snappier, which comes in handy when playing games that require quick reflexes. The volume buttons are in an ideal spot. The D-pad and the face buttons, they feel a little bit smaller than what I'm used to. However, your thumbs rest naturally in this spot, so I feel like they're well placed. Now, the three buttons on the bottom, which are the home button, the select button, and the start button, took a little bit of time getting used to because I am used to the Miyoo Mini setup. The buttons in the middle between the D-pad and the face buttons are two function buttons that are customizable, as well as a customizable function button on the right hand side that's on top of the power button. On the back, you have the shoulder buttons that come in different styles for you to choose to your liking, something that until now was left up to the end user and aftermarket purchases. Personally, I like the clear buttons as it really accentuates the LEDs on the rear buttons. Holding this device in my hands, I can really tell Trimui went to some great lengths to make sure everything was placed in an ideal spot. However, when I look at it, I just can't help but think they just copied Analog Pocket, and I'm not complaining because I've always wanted an Analog Pocket, but I just couldn't justify the cost. The size is similar to the Miyoo Mini Plus, and with the customizable rear buttons, it's surprisingly comfortable to hold. It's in between the Miyoo Mini Original and the Miyoo Mini Plus, so it's a happy medium between the two, making it a device that is not only more portable, but is accessible for those longer play times because it is comfortable to hold. My device came preloaded with a ton of themes, which is always nice to have up and running upon first boot. I customized mine to follow that clean, minimalistic look that complements the white case. The way the LED lights accentuates these buttons once again makes the Brick by far the best looking device out there. But how does it perform? As expected, the performance is on par to the Trimui Smart Pro, which is amazing that you now have the same capabilities in a vertical form factor. However, without that joystick, it makes one wonder if it's worth the price when the games you're most likely going to be playing can be done so on a cheaper system like the Miyoo Mini Mini Plus. Where the Trimui excels, however, is the ability to play those higher demanding titles that don't require joystick controls. With that extra power, it opens up plenty of titles that aren't playable on the Mini Plus, and for some, that might be worth its weight in gold. One thing many owners of the Trimui Brick have pointed out is this console is a little bit of a heat magnet. On the back is a metal case, and I question if that's the contributing factor as to why this system heats up so quickly, but after about 20 minutes of game time, I did notice that the console got a little bit hot. Is it unbearable? Personally, no, this is something that I can live with. However, if you're a little bit more sensitive to heat, this might be something you want to take into consideration before making that purchase. The next thing that Trimui knocked out of the park is the screen. The screen quality is so fantastic, it makes it hard for me to go back to the Mini. It's just that beautiful. It has a 3.2-inch IPS display with a resolution of 1024 by 768, so you're getting a crystal clear screen. The colors are vibrant and accurate. It's something that you have to witness in person because it just looks so amazing when comparing this side by side to the Mini Plus. It's definitely an upgrade in that sense. Now, I wish I could say the same for the speakers, however, the speakers sound like there's only treble coming out of it. Even the Mini Plus speakers sound better. However, when I plugged in my headphones, I did find the audio quality to be superb. Doing a side-by-side comparison to that of the Mini, the sound quality from the 3.5mm jack sounds way better and louder than the Mini Plus. Personally, I'd rather have great sound quality coming in through headphones anyway, as that's how I usually play my games wearing headphones. However, this is something to keep in mind that the sound does sound a little bit cheap. Here's a side-by-side comparison. I'm hoping my microphone can pick up the differences. For anybody who has experience with the Trimui Smart Pro, you're going to feel right at home with the UI. On the top, you have favorites, recent, bests, games, apps, netplay, and settings. Everything is where you kind of expect it to be, and it's pretty easy to navigate. There are a couple things that I do want to mention. Under the app section, there is a boot logo option where if you go into that setting, you can change the boot logo, which I did. I thought that's really cool. There's also an ebook reader, which I found pretty cool that you can bring books on the go on this little device. However, the font is very small, so if you have a hard time seeing small little details, this might not be for you. And my version came with a scraper that works. I heard some other people having issues with the scraper, but for me, the scraper works just fine. One interesting thing that I found was under the games menu, if you go to videos, they actually have a option to watch TV. So for instance, if I click on this to watch Bloomberg, I guess you can stream TV now. I have no idea how this works. I have to look into this to see if I can add additional channels, but how cool would it be if I can figure out how to watch cartoons on this thing? That would be amazing. The system also has a great sleep function that I've tested, and it works just as well as the Trimui Smart Pro, so being able to pick up when you want to play it and pause when you want makes this an ideal portable handheld. Next, and probably the most important bit of this video, is to show you the performance. I'm going to showcase some gameplay that's uninterrupted, unedited. That way you have a very clear idea of what to expect when you buy this device.
Is it in focus now?
Yeah, it's surrounded by the wall.
So in closing, who is this device for? Is it for retro enthusiasts? Is it for collectors? Or is it for people who haven't dipped their feet into the emulation scene just yet and are looking for their first device? Well, that answer is not so simple. It makes sense for me as a collector to pick one up. However, if you're new in the retro gaming scene and you don't have that much experience with, say, setting up these devices, the Trimui Brick might not be for you. Because the Trimui Brick is a fairly new device, you're gonna have to expect there's gonna be a little bit of growing pains. For instance, a lot of other people are running into issues with the Dreamcast emulator. This device might be more of a frustrating experience than, say, that of the Miyoo Mini. The Miyoo Mini Plus has been out for so long, and with a very polished operating system, which is Onion OS, I would say picking up that system over this would probably benefit you more for a first-time experience. So if you're a beginner and you do want the Brick, my suggestion is to go to mechdiy.com and purchase the console with the SD card. MechDIY will actually install the CrossMix OS for you, as well as providing you with a brand name memory card, which a lot of these other companies don't do. However, if you're truly on a budget, I highly suggest looking at the Miyoo Mini. My suggestion would be to use sites like eBay or OfferUp and search around the area that's near you to see if anyone's selling this used. For me, I already bought 2 other Miyoo Mini Pluses that were used and were in great condition for a total of $45, and Onion OS was already included with a brand name memory card. That's something you should definitely keep an eye out for. So personally, sure, the Brick is an amazing new device, it looks absolutely beautiful, and it's probably going to be my new daily driver. However, there's a lot of caveats that come with new systems. I don't know, maybe you feel differently. Regardless, what do you think? Are you going to be picking up this charming little device? Is it something that you two gravitate towards because of how it looks, or is it something that you're just gonna have a hard pass on? Regardless, there are a ton more devices that are gonna be coming down the pipeline, so make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I know the Miyoo Mini Flip is on its way, so keep an eye out for that review, and like always, thank you so much for watching.